Here's a clip of Ukrainian soldiers in a Humvee surviving an anti-tank mine. First, soldiers were driving in action, then they hit a mine, and all 3 soldiers in the vehicle survived with just minor shrapnel injuries. Unfortunately, I can't show the actual explosion because for some reason YouTube loves restricting my videos for the smallest of violence. But I'll leave a link below if you want to watch the full video. But the important part is that the Humvee, it did its job. Soldiers survived the explosion, all because of this innovation at the undercarriage of the vehicle. The undercarriage was designed with a wide V designed to redirect the blast up and into a different angle, thus protecting the soldiers inside. This was of great use for US troops in the Middle East, and now it's extremely helpful to Ukrainian armed forces. But there's just one problem though. This vehicle was built specifically to help the American army in Iraq and the Middle East in general. This was not necessarily designed for Ukraine and its terrain, and for the kind of warfare that Russia is carrying out right now. Nonetheless, for Ukrainian soldiers, it's better to have these than to not have anything at all. Until now. The Ukrainian company Unveiled just revealed its brand new Unveiled 3 multi-role armored vehicle. Built especially for Ukrainian armed forces, and with the help of soldiers who are fighting the Russian invasion army in the war. This is definitely a game-changing development, and features of this combat vehicle have already shocked many military experts. I'm sure Putin is not happy about that. This is why he's trying to assassinate heads of defense companies all around the world. But anyways, let's go over the features and the specification of Unveiled 3 and how it affects the situation on the front line. But first, as I've mentioned before, Russian bots love to dislike our videos to kill its reach. So if you can take a second to hit the like button below, share the video on social media if you enjoy the coverage, it helps us out a lot with the algorithm. Thank you. All right, let's start. Now, Ukrainians already have some MRAP, or mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles. As the name implies, they are really helpful against mines or IEDs or any other kind of explosives. About 174,000 square kilometers of Ukraine is suspected to be contaminated with mines and unexploded ordnances, called UXOs. It's an area about the size of Florida, about 30% of Ukraine's territory. In fact, Ukraine now has more mines than anywhere else on the planet. These MRAPs are really helpful to protect soldiers and even civilians. That's why the US alone has transferred around 1,000 MRAPs to Ukraine since the war started, more specifically Max Pros. The Max Pro, designed by Navistar Defense and Israel company Plasan Sasa, is part of the US military's mine-resistant ambush-protected program. It can withstand the detonation of mines or IEDs under the bottom with a massive explosive up to about 15 pounds or 7 kilograms in TNT equivalent. The armor has 2 layers of protection. One shatters a bullet or debris, and the other stops it. Much like the new Ukrainian Unveiled 3, it has a V-shaped hole that deflects blasts from landmines and improvised explosive devices, ensuring the safety of its occupants. Ukraine has used them for battlefield transports, combined arms formations with tanks, direct attacks on Russian positions, and to protect civilians near the front lines. If you're anything like me, I'm sure you'll enjoy the countless YouTube videos of these vehicles driving in action where they just absorb the direct Russian blasts and just keep on moving forward. In fact, in June of last year, a Ukrainian soldier told The Times that 2 of his unit's Max Pros were hit by shelling and mortar fire in Kherson, but that everyone inside survived. The Max Pros are like a red rag to the Russians. They target it with everything they have, he said, adding that shelling hit one of the vehicles and mortars hit another, but everyone inside survived. They truly saved our soldiers' lives, he said. Safe to say, Max Pros are a great help to Ukrainian soldiers on the front line. So a question arises. What's the advantage of the new Unveiled 3? Well, let's look at that. In a second, we'll get into that. Right now, let's quickly talk about some new changes to YouTube. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that whenever you go to your homepage on YouTube, you get some videos recommended from channels that are extremely new. Here's an example. This change is relatively new, and it actually provides a perfect opportunity for new channels to get started and grow quickly. In fact, many channels have used this exact thing to grow an audience in the last 12 months. They have gotten millions of views and made thousands of dollars from them. In fact, there are millions of faceless YouTube channels making content and earning ad revenue. In just the last 3 years, YouTube has paid out $70 billion to creators. That's around $60 million every single day. So if you're someone who's interested in starting a YouTube channel, right now is the perfect time. That's why we've launched a completely free 7-day email crash course on how to start and grow a faceless YouTube channel. If that's something you're interested in, you can sign up now for free by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen. All right, now let's get back to the topic at hand. The biggest advantage that the company has emphasized heavily in the release is the fact that during the development of the Unveiled 3, they were taking into account the real combat experience gained by the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine in battles against the Russian invasion army. It's equipped with a Duet's power plant with a torque of 1,500 Newton meters and a power of 356 horsepower, and the transmission is the automatic Allison. One big advantage might be the ground clearance. It has a 450mm ground clearance compared to Max Pro's 350mm. It also has an independent suspension with planetary gear reducers, and inter-axle differential locks ensure exceptional all-terrain maneuverability, and a centralized automatic tire inflation system for enhanced mobility. It also has a run-flat system, giving it operational capability even in the event of tire damage from bullet punctures or debris. The vehicle's combined armor provides STANAG 4569 Level 3A, 3B protection standards, with additional shielding for the engine compartment against fragmentation. Utilizing armor steel and aluminum components in its armored shell, the Unveiled 3 achieves optimal protection without compromising weight. Equipped with front, rear, and side view cameras along with night vision capabilities, the crew and passengers can effectively monitor the battlefield. The vehicle includes an electronic warfare module, an automatic fire suppression system with optical sensors, a chemical filtration air system, an autonomous cabin heater, air conditioning, and a 12-ton winch. But its biggest advantage might be the modularity it offers. This vehicle represents a new generation of modular tactical armored vehicles, with separate front and rear armor pods that can be adapted to any task, says the Unveiled company about its product. This allows you to quickly configure an armored vehicle for specific needs, whether it's a 4x4 or 6x6 platform for air defense systems, anti-tank systems, EW systems, optical reconnaissance, command and staff, or medical evacuation vehicles. The list of tasks it can be suited to is wide, from personnel or cargo carrier to a mobile brimstone launcher or chassis for barreled artillery systems. There's also a sketch presenting a potential integration of demining plows and UAV catapults in the future. The 4x4 variant of the Unveiled 3, which can accommodate 2 crew members and 6 paratroopers, is designed to serve multiple roles, including combat and tactical operations, fire support, medical evacuation, police enforcement, and as a heavy weapon or cargo carrier. On the other hand, the 6x6 configuration is suited for more demanding tasks, such as repair and evacuation missions, engineering support, tactical logistics, and as a platform for multiple rocket launch systems or self-propelled howitzers. This is a great step for the Ukrainian arms industry, as this vehicle, once battle-tested, can also become a great export for the country. Once the war ends, they will have a very mighty military-industrial complex that is way over capacity. They will become an absurdly huge exporter.